Hey folks, guess what I'm going to do today? I'm going to use this scale. I'm going to try to catch a personal best. You know, that's just my ambition. I probably won't catch my personal best, but if you have that in your mind, if you're thinking that I'm going to catch my personal best today, you'll fish better. Okay, so where we are, we're down here in South Florida. We're down in some of the recreational areas down around Fort Lauderdale, and I'm going to try a lure that I really like. It's a big swim Senko. Look at this. It's called a swim Senko, and I got some of them right here. And they're real nice and big and fat and heavy, and they got a swim tail on them. And they're like a green pumpkin with some red flake. And I rigged that up on 20-pound test monofilament. I got a little 1/8 of an ounce, just a regular lead weight. And I got this rod. This rod's so cool. It's a baseball rod. See, what Favorite has done, Favorite Rod Company, they've come in and made a series of rods. They're really nice 7-foot rods. They're really, really beautiful. And they make them for all the baseball teams. So whatever your favorite baseball team is, hey, you got a rod. This happens to be a Miami team. Okay, what I'm gonna do, folks, is I'm gonna ease down this flat. And with this swim Senko, I'm going to make long casts. I'm going to hold my rod up high. And this is the way I do it. I throw it out there like this, long cast, reel it along, just reel it along. There, oh, got it right there. I just had a strike. You won't believe it, but I did. And I missed them. So the first cast, that's not always a good sign to get a fish the first cast. Okay, let me try it again. Throw it way out there, reel it along. Boy, he hit the heck out of it that first cast. Now I'm holding my rod high, and so when they hit it, remember it's a worm. So I'm holding my rod high and I'm not in the strike position. When I hold it high and they finally hit it, I'll have to drop it down, you know, as it's a worm. So we'll see what happens. But I'm after big bass. Make a long cast. Now remember, we're in real shallow, clear water right now. So one of the big deals is to make a long cast. I'm headed downwind. I'm going to try to throw with the wind, make a longer cast that way. Strike. There we go. Set the hook again, set him again, set him again. Oh my heavens. That was a big one too. That was like about a 5-pounder. He just got off. I'm gonna rig up a swimming Senko. And what I'm gonna do is use the next size bigger hook. I missed a fish, so I'm gonna go to a bigger hook, about a 5/0 hook. That might make a difference. That's a much bigger hook. It's set up for bigger fish. Okay. Now the type of knot I use a Palomar knot. This is 20-pound monofilament. I doubled the line and I come through the eye of the hook. And then once I got that loop, I make an overhand knot right here. And now I got that tag end coming out and I put the whole hook right through that, like that. Pull it tight. Go ahead and cut my line off. Don't throw it in the boat. Okay. Now, to come through this swimming Senko, I just come through the head of the worm about 3/8 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch. And pull it down and come over the shoulder of that hook. And now I'm going to come through the worm and I'm going to come all the way through and I'm going to skin hook it on the back. And at that point, I'm coming right through like this. And now see the hook is riding kind of just on the back side of that thing. Okay, it's ready to go. I'm going to adjust my drag. That's the other thing. I want a good tight drag. Got a good tight drag. And throw it out there. Reel it in. There's a strike. Yeah. Yeah, go. Got one. Got one. Got one. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. That is swimming Senko time, son. The swimming Senko did just fine. Again, he took it just right. When he hit it, I kind of dropped it back down to him, and he ate it just perfect. Okay, I'm gonna adjust my swimming Senko again. Might get a brand new one because this one's kind of torn up. Hey, that was so cool. You know, it's hard in making these YouTube videos. It's sometimes pretty hard to make it happen, right? When I'm trying to instruct you and show you how to do it, and all of a sudden I catch a nice fish like that. That's a little bit of a lucky deal. So often you don't catch them quite that quick, but that happened really well. Okay, let's see if I can't get another one. Just keep my rod up kind of high, but that's not the strike position I want. When I get a strike, I'm gonna have to lower it and tighten up the line real quick. The swim Senko is a neat deal. I'm gonna go forward just a little ways, get up on my little perch. Now, see what happens. Take a nice long cast. Hold my rod up high, kind of reel it along. There's a school of fish just like there was the other day. There's one. I got him. Little one. He ain't very big. Hey, but he hit that swimming Senko. That swimming Senko is quite a deal, because the main advantage with the swimming Senko is that you can cover just tremendous amount of water with it. Like a regular worm, you can cover like 10 times more water with this swimming Senko, because you're casting and retrieving. It's not like a slow deal. You're really covering water. Okay. Rehook that thing. I got one. I paused to reach forward, and I was paused to just run the trolling motor for a second. And when I gave it a little bit of slack to catch up with the trolling motor, this thing caught up with my swimming Senko. And just as I turned this trolling motor, I just had one hand on the rod. All of a sudden, this nice bass just creams the worm, and I'm all out of position. I got one hand on the trolling motor, another hand up in the air, and it's just like, it was amazing that I caught the fish. But it's a nice bass, real nice bass anyhow. Anyway, that's telling me something, and I don't know exactly what it's telling me, but it's telling me maybe to pause, because I was reeling it along fast. I reached forward to get the trolling motor, and bam, that's when he hit. So let's try that again. I'll throw it out there. I'll reel along like this. And then I'm gonna have to get another worm. That's the problem. Okay. Let's see what happens now. A couple nice bass have hit the swimming Senko. Hey, this is a major player now. This when you have shallow flats to fish a lot of, this is a good way to cover a lot of water. These swimming baits like this make a nice long cast, really long. You know, it's funny. You look down in this grass and you don't see any fish. You say, there's nothing here. It's just shallow. It's just nothing here. And yet, there's fish here. Lots of fish. You're not seeing them, but they're here. They're in this grass. Grass is so important to the ecology of any kind of lake or any kind of good bass habitat. You gotta have grass. You gotta have grass. If you lose your grass, you lose your bass. That's the problem. Okay, boys. Come out with your fins up. Boom. Got one, little one. Hey, but you never know about these size fish. This rod is really a cool rod. This is that baseball rod. You can put a lot of pressure on them. It's pretty good for worm fishing. It's not bad for setting the hook. It's kind of an all-around purpose rod. You can throw a spinnerbait with it. You can throw a worm with it. It's just kind of an all-around rod. Okay. I love it. I love bass fishing. You know, I fish for other tarpon and I do all this other stuff. But I tell you, bass is my favorite. Bass, particularly here in South Florida when you're dealing with the shallow water, I just love shallow water fishing. You get them on top water, you get them on stuff like this worm here. It's all good stuff. It's all just super deal. There's one. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Come out with your fins up. I got you. I got you. He's down in the grass now. That's why you need 20-pound line. You need to be able to crank them. Need to be able to crank them hard. Nice bass. Nice bass. I love it. Swimming Senko. Hey, that's a deal, son. Look at the size of these nice bass. These are good fish. These are nice bass. The old Swimming Senko is doing it. Doing it. Beautiful fish. Again, let me just show you what I'm doing. I'm taking this Swimming Senko. I got this on about a 4/0 EWG Yamamoto hook. Big heavy wire, what they call Super Duty. It's a real thick wire. 20-pound line. That's a regular lead weight. This is old school. This isn't tungsten. This is a regular standard 1/8 ounce lead weight. Come through the head of the worm. Dump, 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 dump. Come out. Come right through the side of the worm. Okay, ready to go. Let's see if we can't catch another one. Throw right out there. Throw right out there. I got him. I got him. Is that it? That's the deal, son. That's on cue. On cue. You can't have a better deal than that. I'm telling you what, folks. There's another fish. There's another big fish following him. There's a great big fish following him. There's a school here. I just saw a bigger fish come up behind him. I'm going to try to get him off. There's a much bigger fish that came up. And while he was right there, watch this. Now, maybe he won't bite. But there's a good chance that a real big one is right there. He followed that one in. Now watch this. Watch this, folks. This might be the deal. Might be the deal. He was right in there. He didn't bite. Try it again right over there. But it was a bigger fish that followed it in. It was just a real big one. Huh? He didn't bite. Hey, but that's 2 in a row. That's good fishing, son. That's good fishing. This swimming Senko's a deal. Now, a lot of people like braid, and braid you could work really well with braid. You know, you don't have to set the hook quite as hard with braid. With monofilament, it stretches a lot, so you need a pretty stout rod, and you really have to set the hook hard. I'm really setting the hook hard on the monofilament. But now with braid, you can get by with an easier hook set because there's hardly any stretch to it. It's just an easier thing to set the hook with. It's a nice bass, hit right there. Yeah, that's not the one. There's more than one fish there. That's not the one that just hit me. There's another fish there. The whole school of fish there. Whole school of fish. And that's the other thing. When you're back on these flats like this, you never know when you're going to find a school of fish. So I have an anchor set up, and actually I'm dragging an anchor, and these little boats are a little bit hard to control. But I found a school now, caught a couple right there, and there's even a bigger one that came in. So we'll see what happens. I want to use that scale. That digital scale will weigh them over 10 pounds. That's what I'm after, son. Okay. I gotta drop this. I don't want to get any farther forward. I gotta stop the boat. I got a nice bass here. There's another nice fish. Whole school of fish right here. Whole school, and there's a little hole in the grass right there. And these are just a couple pounds, but just a minute ago, I had one 5 or 6 pounds on. He got off. So I'm gonna see if I can't get him. Got them all fired up in that little hole. A whole school of fish. That's like 5 or 6 fish in the exact same spot. And there's a hole in the grass right in there. Oh, another one. I'm telling you what, folks, this is awesome. There's a school of fish in here. It's awesome. Awesome spot. I don't know how big he is. I've lost 2 or 3. Heck on, this is something. A whole school of fish on this flat. I mean, there was 7 or 8 fish here. That's something. So, you know, you got to be able to stop. And that's why I got 2 anchors out now, just because I don't want to move anymore. I'm right here by the good spot. Just my drag, adjust my line. Okay, there's a good one, there's a good one, there's a good one, there's a good one, there's a good one. That's what it's all about. That's a good one, son. That's a good old big old fish. That's a big old bass there, son. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. The swimming Senko time. It's swimming Senko time. It's swimming Senko time. Yes, sir. Big old beautiful bass. 4 and 5 and 6 pounds all over the place in here. So folks, if you want to catch some beautiful bass, hey, try that swimming Senko. This thing's really a cool deal. Hey, YouTubers, what do you think? Nice big old fat bass like that? That's not a bad deal. I'm gonna let him go, son. Hey, come on down to South Florida. That's a nice deal. It's a nice deal. I love it. Swimming Senkos.